How many of you guys ever have struggle with your sound checks? Somebody's laughing. Okay, just a little bit. Okay. How many of you just know that that can be a problem? That can be a problem. I want to give you just some tips here. And then I think we're going to do like a live sound check here because we haven't checked any of this stuff yet, but I'll just show you how I do it. And, there's lots of ways to do it. One thing I would suggest is make sure that everybody feels loved during the sound check. Okay? Be polite. And then also make sure that you're getting done what needs to be done. See here. Okay. First of all, I would sound check before every first service. Some people don't do that. You have to have a sound check. I would set up prior to the beginning of the sound check. So tech folks, if the sound check starts at 9 o'clock, everything has to be working at 9 o'clock. Okay? Everything starts working at 9 o'clock. If you are a singer or a musician, you might want to get there early to help out, just to make sure that things are ready to go at that sound check time. Always start with prayer. Always start with prayer. You know what? I've been to so many churches where I go, how come you're not praying yet? You know, Satan loves to get involved with a sound check. Let's get everybody ticked off early in the morning. You know, so before we do any of that, I just start and say, okay, let's get on the same page, everybody. Let's pray. We're here to serve you, God. Use us. And I pray that you'd humble my heart. I pray that you'd help. I just pray, God, bless Spirit of God, be a part of what we're doing right now. And thanksgiving and prayer. Start with a thankful heart. Next, I adjust sound levels and monitors. What I will do, you might do it differently, but if there's 2 or 3 microphones on the platform, do we have any more microphones here? I'll do this, watch. And these have already been checked. And so once it's even, then my singers have a chance of singing together. Okay? When do you do that kind of sound check? When do you do that? You do that before you make music, before you do any music. Now, there's a lot of ways to accomplish a sound check. What I highly recommend is that you listen to your technician. And I ask the first question, Noe, what do you need to accomplish? And then he says, well, I'd like to do this, this, this. And sometimes they say things that you don't understand, like, I want to adjust the gain structure. And you go, yeah, me too, but you know, gain structure is, you know. But you can say, okay, how do we do that? Oh, just start playing for a while, and then I'll tell you when to stop. That kind of thing. But agree with your tech team on how that should happen. Do not be demanding. Be like, definitely this is a team sport, and I want to serve you here. How can I do that? It's very possible that in a room like this, the band can be super loud. Okay? It can be super loud. So what does our front of house person need to do in order to have the vocals in front of the band? They have to turn the vocals way up, right? So it could be, now I don't see this as a problem here because they're using a lot of in-ear monitors, but it could be that the stage volume is too loud. So what you have to do is you have to say, and I've done this many, many times, is I'll ask some of the players to turn down instruments and just keep asking until they do it. One trick that people that have pedals, like a guitar player, you know, they go, oh yeah, is this good? And you go, yeah, can you please play your loudest volume for me? And then they push their pedal down all the way. Keyboard players, the same way, you know, they got a volume thing, and when they put it down to 3 for sound check, and then during the set, they turn it up to 10. I can't hear myself. What happens is that everybody can't hear themselves, so they just keep turning it up. So what you do is you do the sound check to where everybody's level is going to be what it's going to be. Okay, no big surprises. Singers, the reason I check the microphone is because different singers have different voices. Trusting, 1, 2. Trusting. And then they start singing, say what you want to say. I want to see you be brave. You know, this was the sound check. Trusting, 1, 2. Too many times. Part of your sound check should be adjusting all the sound levels and monitors, rehearse the songs and the staging. Okay, I hesitate to use that word because people don't like to use the word stage, and because it brings in the performance stuff. But what I mean by that is, how are people getting on and how are people getting off the platform? Little things like a microphone stand, where does it need to be when the singers aren't there? You think through all of that ahead of time, and then you practice it. That's part of the sound check. I give 90 minutes to a sound check. Some people say, I've been to churches where I've got 5 minutes. And it kind of looks like it, and it sounds like it too. And if that's what you have to do, because you have multiple services going like that, then you have to do it. But do a lot of planning so things can go boom, 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 plug in, go. There's mixers that have memory on them, which is very helpful. So at rehearsal, you set everything. You don't have to do all of that stuff. But you still have to make sure everything works. Everything's plugged in. Don't assume things are working. Guitar players, check your batteries. Make sure the batteries are working so that you have a whole service to play through. I cast vision at sound checks. What does that mean? I say, hey guys, to the whole team, every sound check, this is why we're here. Change lives. I remind everybody every time, hey, you know what? Is it true that some people might be here that don't know the Lord? Absolutely. Hey, you know what? Let's be praying for those people. Did anybody have some friends that they invited? Oh, you invited a friend? Cast that vision over and over and over and over again. I'm so glad that you're here. Be affirming to people in that sound check. Remind the team to smile when it's appropriate. And I say this all the time to singers, but it's the same thing with any musician. Muscles have memory. So if you're practicing, if you're doing sound check with a frown, you're going to have an inauthentic smile when you're actually leading worship. Because a lot of times when people are doing this, they're going, I can't hear anything. Can you? What happened to my mix? Jesus. Okay. So practice with a smile too. It actually warms the place up. And then 8, after the sound check, stop rehearsing and worship. You know what? Just take off that hat of producer or performer or whatever and say, now I'm a child of God and I'm going to go worship God. I'm going to worship. So if something's out of tune, who cares? Who cares? You know what you do? You evaluate later, but try not to evaluate while you're leading other people in worship. And then some people just don't know when to stop trying to fix things. It's like, leave it alone. Just enjoy it. Number 9, limit your stage volume. Remember, less is more. Less is more. And then use a sound check outline. You know what that is? You write down all the things that you want to accomplish for that sound check or a rehearsal too. And it's all written there, and you go through it as a checklist. We got to do this, 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 and this. Don't try to memorize it.
For more information, visit thecrossroads.org or download our app in the App Store. Thank you for listening.